Well, I'm on my way. I'm a-comin'. Gonna pick a bouquet of flowers. And I'm on my way. I'm a-singing. 'Cause I know see your smiling face. Well, I'm a-comin'. Getting closer. Just cross the river. Love. Hello friends out there in YouTube land. Hi, this is Michael Wilson Barber's little YouTube channel. We're sponsored by Skooka Merch. So I'm attempting to make some casual Italian cooking at home. Hopefully good Italian cooking at home. I've never been to Italy. I'm not a trained Italian chef, but this is, in my own mind, a Chef Barberino meal. I am sauteing the baby bella mushrooms in extra virgin olive oil with salt and pepper. And the reason I'm doing that is because they sweat down a lot and there's a lot of extra liquid. So I'm going to set these aside while I actually make the pasta sauce, and then I'll add these to the pasta sauce like at the end. I don't want to add all that liquid from the mushrooms to the pasta sauce. Maybe I'm making a mistake, I don't know. But generous amounts of salt and pepper in extra virgin olive oil. Like this, extra virgin olive oil. I may use a little bit of these prepared Italian herbs seasoning at the end, but what I've really got are fresh ingredients. You need fresh ingredients. So I got some basil. Our basil out in the garden is not mature yet. I have a sprig of oregano, which I will use. So fresh oregano and basil. I have some fresh parsley that I'm not showing here. I'll probably use at the end. Also at the end, I got this spring truffle pecorino cheese from Italy. It's going to be good, so that'll be for topping at the end. Of course, clove of garlic. I have a video on best way to mince garlic at home or to chop garlic. I got a bottle of Veal and Tenori Italian white wine because I'm planning on making these pork cutlets with some fresh tomatoes we grew in the garden. At the end, I'll have probably a very small amount of lemon juice in the pasta sauce. I bought a few Roma's tomatoes to go with it to kind of thicken it up. And I'm going to use these leftover organics grape tomatoes just to use them up with the sauce. So I don't know if I'm going to throw some onions in here or not. I might. And I bought some Dilalo pasta from Italy, Italian pasta. It looks good. It looks like these kind of little half shells. So they're orecchiette. Orecchiette. I've never had pasta like this, but this should be good. And I'm gonna make the sauce, cook the pasta, and with some old-fashioned American prepared garlic bread. So is it fully Italian? No, it's more of American Italian, but I've got fresh ingredients, so it should be good. Ciao Italiano. Okay, so I'm starting the sauce. I cut up the leftover grape tomatoes, cut up some Roma tomatoes. I'm cutting up our homegrown tomatoes that we have remaining. Put a generous amount of salt and pepper in there. I did decide to add a little bit of the prepared Italian seasoning. I will add the fresh basil and the fresh oregano at the end of this dish, at the end. Okay, so I got a few more tomatoes I'm chopping up, and I just wanted to show you these are going to cook down for a bit. A generous amount of olive oil. Okay, so you see I have sauteed down the tomato, salt and pepper, and a very small amount of Italian seasoning in olive oil. And It's smelling really good. I put 2 cloves of minced garlic in here. I have a video on that. Best way to prepare garlic at home, garlic cloves. And I'm going to go ahead and put some onions in this, and I'm going to saute it in the oil where the mushrooms were, and just to brown them up a little bit. And here's the mushrooms. They're waiting for the end prep of all this, so you'll see them again. Okay, so I'm sauteing the onions in the leftover olive oil with the mushrooms. And I went ahead and added the oregano here to the sauce, and I am just gonna stir that and let it sit. I turned it off the heat for now. I think the onions and the mushrooms will add at the end back into the sauce, and the basil I'm also gonna kind of wait to add that. But anyway, there we go. Okay, since the tomato sauce is turned off, I decided to go ahead and add the basil and the fresh oregano. And so I'm going to stir this up and just let it sit until it's time to reheat. The onions are nicely sauteed down. I'm going to separate those out over here with the mushrooms. You can see all the juices that are being sopped up on this paper towel. So the mushrooms and onions will come in at the end again. So okay, next steps: the pork tenderloins, cutlets. Okay, before we get to the pork cutlets, I did stir the tomato sauce, which the heat is turned off right now with the basil and oregano in there. So here's one sign that the tomato pasta sauce is done, that I always take as a sign, which is once it's bubbling to the point that little bits of pasta sauce drip out, that's for me when the sauce is done. I also, at the end of this, I added about a teaspoon of white sugar to try to help the flavors pop out a little bit. So it's something I like to do sometimes. Okay, so I got these pork tenderloin cutlets. They're boneless and they're pretty thin, like 1/4 inch. I went ahead and did a layer of salt and pepper on there. I'm going to do my classic breading that a lot of chefs use. I have a video on Chef Barberino chicken, the best sauteed chicken at home. So it's just plain white flour, a couple of eggs, and in this case, panko breadcrumbs. I'm using the Japanese panko breadcrumbs. In my Barberino chicken, I usually use Italian breadcrumbs. So this is how you bread it: flour, egg, panko. Some people do 2: flour, egg, and then panko, or Italian breadcrumbs. But I'm not going to do that. So I'll show you this. You got to bread it, then saute it in olive oil. At the end, when I finalize the dish, I'll probably do a little bit of lemon juice and a little bit of this French sauce. It's a French white sauce. It's called a beure blanc. Beure blanc. And it is white vinegar, a white wine vinegar with vermouth and butter, salt and pepper. So I'm going to put that in the sauce at the end when I finalize the dish. So you'll see that here. Okay, so I got the pork cutlets breaded with the panko breadcrumbs, and some of them are about ready to flip. I don't time stuff like this, but when you see like browning on the edges, that's when I flip. And remember, always use non-metal tongs in your Teflon pans. I like to use Tefal Teflon pans. I have a generous amount of olive oil here. I'm going to start flipping these. Okay, so I just flipped these, and again, I don't time it. You don't want to overcook pork, but I'm going to saute it until I see a little browning on the bottom, and then I'll take these off and put them on a paper towel, let them rest for a minute. Smells great. So that's flour, 2 eggs, then panko breadcrumbs. I did not use the Italian breadcrumbs this time. I want to try to let the sauce kind of speak for itself. There we go. Okay, so here are the pork cutlets after they've been sauteed in olive oil and browned on both sides. They could be eaten just like this, but for the sake of this dish, they're going to be served a little bit differently with a fresh pasta sauce, and I'll use a little bit of the beure blanc here. I think I'm not going to add the lemon juice to this. I think I'll just do it with the beure blanc. Anyway, I'm heating the water for the pasta. I like to put salt in my water for the pasta. So I read the package of the orecchiette. Pasta means little ears in Italian. So ciao Italiano, Mangia. This is going to be good. Okay, so I got the little ear pasta boiling, and the instructions on this package say 12 minutes. So I set the timer, and I like to use a flat bamboo or wooden spatula. You want to be sure to stir this regularly so the pasta doesn't stick to the bottom. The instructions specifically say do not add oil to your water, just salt. So what I'm going to do in this little pan here, where I put some of the beurre blanc, about 3 tablespoons, about 1 or so tablespoons of butter, a couple tablespoons of olive oil. I'll saute this with some of the sauce. It also says in the pasta instructions, do not rinse your pasta with cold water, because that takes some of the flavors away, and it also you want it to bind to your sauce, which is what I'll do. Okay, so I'm putting the garlic bread in here. Got the pasta boiling for 12 minutes, and we'll finish this up soon and shred some of the pecorino spring truffle cheese on there. Okay. Okay, so I've got some of the mushrooms and sauteed onions and the pasta sauce with basil and oregano here. I got it on low, so I'm going to saute this for a little bit. I'm going to add a little bit of the pasta to this for about 2 minutes, and again, I don't time it, just until it comes together. And I'm going to have it with a little bit of French bread, serve it with the pecorino shredded on top. So I'll show you the process here. Hold on. Okay friends, so you see the sauce kind of cooks down. I got the mushrooms and onions in there with the pasta sauce and the pasta. I put the pork cutlets on there. Ideally, I think you would want it over the pork cutlets, but I will. They are steaming as a part of this, but at the end I will keep the pork cutlets on top. I think I'm going to go ahead and flip the pork cutlets over. The idea is to get them down in the sauce, but I'm not really doing it that way right now. So anyway, that's what it looks like. It's been going about 2 or 3 minutes. Okay, I did turn the pork cutlets over and kind of try to wedge them down in there into the sauce. This would be a place if you wanted to add more sauce, which actually I do. You could add a little bit more. You could add cream sauce to it, like half and half if you wanted to, or you could add water or chicken broth or something. But I'm going to let this saute, and then I'm going to plate up, and I'll show you that. Okay, friends out there in YouTube land, we are sponsored by Skooka Merch, where Sasquatch believes in you. Okay, this is an Italian white wine served with this pasta sauce, plated up with the 2 pork cutlets, breaded and sauteed in olive oil, and I put the pecorino cheese on there. 2 cutlets is probably more than real Italians would serve, but the American version is to try to have a lot of meat. Man, that's delicious. Let me try the pasta and that sauce. These do look like little ears in Italian. This is called little ear pasta. You can taste the fresh basil and oregano there. Portobello mushroom. This is delicious. I think the pecorino also kind of pushes it over the edge. Fresh tomato sauce. So I'm going to turn the camera off here and finish enjoying these delicious sauteed pork cutlets. Chef Barberino, as they say, Mangia, Italiano, Mangia. Okay, so it is very good, and I will see you next time on this YouTube channel. As Bob Ross says, God bless and goodbye, and as Chef Barberino says, Ciao Italiano. We'll see you next time.